Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you the unique perspectives and varying skill range. Except for not this episode. This episode, we're doing a Sidequest episode with our thoughts on E3. I know what you're thinking. Aren't you a little late for this? And yes, we are. But you know what? Our choices were either we don't get an episode this week, or we go an E3 episode. So, we got you an E3 episode. I am your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. With me, our moderate gamer, Keith.
Hello.
And our wonderful noob, Liz.
Hey, guys.
And so, we are talking about Microsoft/Bethesda Xbox press conference that happened during the E3. So, going around, was the press conference a game or a pass for you guys? What did you guys think of it?
It was a lot of games. It was a lot of passes. Maybe not a lot of passes, but also, I mean, nothing against the people who are presenting. They are not very exciting people. And all of them had that weird Ricky Bobby thing going on with, like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And it made me uncomfortable anytime that they were speaking. But I overall enjoyed it because there's a lot of fun, good stuff coming. So games.
I'm giving it games. I thought they were all very articulate. I got a little bit of a stutter, and I was just wowed that like nobody was messing up. And
they spoke well. They were just super uncomfortable visibly.
But one thing that, because I've seen Andrew watch these before, but I've never actually like sat down and watched a full one.
Yeah, this is your first one, right?
Yeah, my first full one. And I think the Outer Worlds kind of like poked fun at like the way that the trailers sometimes go. And the first trailer that they didn't give me anything, and I was like, is this how all the trailers are gonna be? Like, I don't know the gameplay, I don't know the story. It was just very like dramatic, but then the trailers got a lot better after that. So I was a little nervous at the beginning, but I think that it was great.
So for me, for the overall press conference, I was very middle of the road. I kind of feel bad saying this. Like I hear so many people like, this was the best Microsoft press conference. For me, I was just like, it was fine. It was good. Like, nothing blew me out of the water. I mean, everything was good. I loved that it was just games. It was a lot of release dates, which I loved. But there wasn't any, like, bombshell moments, which I was expecting. Even the, always at the end, there's always, before we go kind of thing, and they give it, like, a new trailer of something. It's usually something that people are anticipating. And the one for this one was a new game, Redfall. And it was just kind of like, okay. Like, I don't know. We'll get more into it, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a decent conference, so I give it a game.
I liked watching it and being like, oh, I bet Andrew would like that game.
So now, after watching this, Liz, do you understand why I'm like, I don't want to do anything today. I don't want to hang out with family. I want to see this event. Or are you still like, no, this is weird?
Kind of. I mean, for me, there were some games that I'm really interested in. I think graphically, it's worth the watch anyways.
Yeah.
I was originally writing down for the games, like, what stood out to me.
You wrote, like, a whole page on things.
I was like, graphics, exclamation point, like, to let me know, this game, the graphics are good. They're all good. All the trailers, the graphics of the games looked amazing. And so for me, like, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I kind of see it now. But yeah, I mean,
But you can also watch it on YouTube like an hour later or a day later.
I don't see exactly. I don't see the need to be like, I have to carve out to that time today, the Pacific time.
Unless you're trying to sit and live tweet it, or I guess keep up with your brother who was effectively live tweeting it to our group chat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was at a dance recital, which was a great time, and I wasn't going to miss that for, a video game conference, but it was nice to have a little check-in on, see what was going on in the video game world. Yeah. And then I watched it later, and I was fine with that.
I was at the beach with Liz's family. So I was,
oh, my goodness.
I was like,
you had to spend time with people that you love.
No. Don't put love in front of that. Just kidding. I love your family, Liz. No. For me, I was like, I didn't want to hear the spoilers because I was expecting the bombshells, and I'm like, I want to find out, because what I generally love, like when they do the bombshells, I love when they're like, oh, here's this game and you can play it today. Like, that's what I missed during this press conference, and there really wasn't much of that. And then, so that's normally why I love watching it live, because it is like, sweet, hitting the download button now, getting that right now.
There are some people who have never been to the beach, and you're just like, ugh, to the beach.
Because E3's going on.
Well, I am curious how much like pandemic kind of slowed down some game production to a point where they weren't like having games ready like they might have.
Yeah.
It could be a cop out, but because I feel like that's kind of the going, like, I don't know, the pandemic, so bad things or something. But at the same token, I don't know, just curious if that kind of delayed something enough that they weren't ready to have something on day one. But they do still have so much coming, and it's not all like coming in 2022. It's like coming in a month and all that. So good stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what I loved. There was a lot that they just were like release date, and there's quite a bit that are coming out this year, which I'm very excited for. So I don't know if you guys have your list for what you thought was what you're most excited for, but I have some highlights.
We're getting into this.
Liz, I want to know for you, name one game that's coming out this year that you're very excited for.
Oh, this year. So I'm looking at your page. So my notes are like in the order that they did it, but play day one this year.
Your most anticipated game that was announced for playing this year on Game Pass.
So for me, I mean, it didn't give much with gameplay, and so I have no idea if I'm gonna like the game. But anything with Willem Dafoe, I
knew this was gonna be your number one pick.
Willem Dafoe, and I don't even care about the game at all. I'm just such a big Willem Dafoe fan.
It could be the worst game ever.
Yeah,
but Willem Dafoe's in it.
So 12 minutes, but I mean, there's quite a few games for day one this year that I'm excited about.
So do you not know what 12 minutes is about?
Vaguely. So I remember you showed me the trailer way back when, or something.
It's been announced like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, so you gave me the information a while back, and then this trailer didn't really show anything, so I don't remember what I read before, or I don't even know if it was a trailer or if I read it. So I think you're going back every 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 10-loop
it's
game,
like Groundhog's Day. Yeah. You are playing the husband, and you and your wife are in this kind of small apartment. Your wife tells you things are going great, she's pregnant, everything's happy and wonderful. Then a police officer comes in who's played by Willem Dafoe, and your wife's played by, I keep wanting to say Ridley Scott, I keep forgetting her name, but she played Rey in Star Wars.
Okay,
I'm trying to blank on her name, but anyway. Yeah, Willem Dafoe character comes in, and he's trying to arrest your wife, saying, she's involved in a murder and all this stuff going on. And essentially, I think every time the cop ends up killing you and resets the day. And so you're trying to piece things together as you're constantly playing these 12 minutes. It sounds really cool. I'm really excited for that too. Anytime I've just seen trailers, it doesn't look like, oh, this is going to be a fun gameplay kind of game. But honestly, I'm already stealing your thunder, Liz, and I'm going to say I feel like this game could have been a movie, and I think I would love it. Just the concept of it, I'm very excited. I mean, it's an interactive movie, which
they've done a couple Groundhog Day-esque movies.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of done a little bit too much.
But interacting with the movie,
I feel like would be an interesting take on it.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the ones that kind of get inspiration from it are kind of copy and paste. This one would be interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for 12 Days as well.
Well, I mean, most time loop movies, I think, too, are also generally tend to be comedies. No,
Yeah.
I guess not all of them, because what was that one? Kill Me or something like that? About the girl who's getting murdered.
Oh, Happy Death Day?
Yeah, Happy Death Day. I wasn't even close on the name. But I guess
I thought you were talking about the one with Andy Samberg, the one on Hulu where he's stuck in the desert. At a party at a wedding.
Yeah.
I already forgot the name.
I wasn't even thinking
of
that one. There was another one where I want to say it's Kevin Hart. He keeps waking up like naked in an elevator the day before his ex-girlfriend's wedding. He's trying to break it up. There's that one. There's Groundhog Day, the OG, and the best one. But yeah, so I guess a serious time loop movie could be okay. But at the same time, I like the idea that it's a video game. Yeah, you're not going to sit down and be like, this is going to blow me away. Their graphics are incredible. None of that's going to happen, but it's going to be a very interesting thing. It seems like it's like point and click-ish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like a point and click kind of, quick time loop. I remember actually it was on Game Pass for a minute. Pun upcoming is the game Minute. That was, you had I think 60 seconds and you would just fade away and die, or you would die within those 60 seconds, and you had to get further and further and just travel all this way. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was much more of an action-paced game, but I could definitely get into a little point-and-click loop game. I think those are pretty fun.
So Keith, what's one of your highlight games coming out this year that you're excited for?
I mean, I think hands down, no questions asked, it's got to be Forza Horizon 4.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
I mean,
Forza Horizon 5, Keith. We already played 4.
Darn it. Well, I'm already showing how well I know things. So it's got to be Horizon 5, just because I've played every single one of the Horizon games all along the way. I freaking love the Horizon games, and the graphics in this game. I mean, I guess I was watching them on the highest graphics watching the video, and until I get my Series X, I won't know. But like, just every single detail of that game was gorgeous. Like, there is just nothing that they left out. And then I went back later and I watched the more in-depth trailer on it, and just the things they do in that game are just so incredible. Like, they have like actual photorealistic mountainsides, not just a city line, and I think that's ridiculously impressive.
So I'm not gonna lie, I was actually disappointed in Forza Horizon because, like, for me, the bar is already set so high, and like the trailer, don't get me wrong, it looked great. Like, I still enjoyed the trailer, but it didn't do anything kind of new until the end. At the very end, they showed like the arcade mode where you can really kind of customize the gameplay, but they glossed over that for like 30 seconds. And I was like, I want to know more about that.
That was weird. I wanted to hear more about that. But I do agree with what you said about the graphics. And I thought it was really cool that they even had like the murals on the buildings.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Oh, the graphics are amazing.
I feel like the detail in this game is pretty exceptional.
Yeah. Like I said, like, I still think it's amazing, and I'm still very excited for Forza. I was expecting something cooler with it, like that they would more wow you with, because like they were trying to show you like, oh, here's our new missions, the expeditions. But all it was basically a guy driving through a jungle and a guy saying, oh, you found temples. And I was like, that didn't look really anything different or interesting.
I feel like there's going to be more to that. But
I'm sure there is. But that's why I was just disappointed in the trailer.
That arcade mode, it gave me vibes of like, I see it on Facebook all the time. People stream Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's always these ridiculous like wonky
courses in the sky.
So I'm like, I kind of see that happening. So this game might just become a streamer's delight, honestly. And I don't hate that. I mean, I don't stream, so I guess it won't help me very much. But for the people that do, like, there could be a lot of fun to it, and they kind of look fun, those types of races. Now, as my honorary mention, that in my less obvious, but I guess you probably won't be surprised, has got to be Back 4 Blood. I know it's not Left 4 Dead, but Left 4 Dead holds such a special place in my heart, and knowing that it has at least ties to Left 4 Dead, that gets me excited. And it looked like it was going to be a lot of fun.
I just didn't understand if it was like story based, if it was going to have a lot of substance, because the trailer looked really cool, and that's actually something that I put down, that this is a game that I'm interested in, especially because it's multiplayer, correct?
Yeah, it's like strictly multiplayer.
Yeah, and so, but I also felt like I wasn't really given like the gameplay, the story, or anything in the trailer, so I was just like, it looks cool.
Well, I think they take a lot of assumptions of kind of, they were dangling that Left 4 Dead out there, so like, for knowing Left 4 Dead, those games were actually episodic. Like, nothing was really tied, right? Am I
Yes, there was an overall story of like these survivors trying to get out.
The outbreak, but yeah, it was. This one seems like it's you stick with the same 4 people throughout the whole entire story, which I'm on board with.
So yeah, that's a good point, Liz. So yeah, Back 4 Blood is based off. It's a lot of people from the original team. There's a game called Left 4 Dead. And as Keith said, you basically pick a level, you have 4 players, and you just shoot zombies. Like, you're trying to get from point A to point B, and you're just constantly being swarmed by zombies. So it's very much a team-based game of try to stick together, keep pushing forward, and just try to get out alive. And yeah, I was so excited to see that they said Back 4 Blood is coming out, and it's day 1. That is really cool, because one of the people we actually had, our friend Dave, he told me, he was like, there's only a couple games I buy every year, with Game Pass, you don't really need to buy too much. And he said, Back 4 Blood, I'm buying that game. Like, that game looks great. And like, we already knew this was going to be a game we're going to play together. And then don't need to buy it. It's going to be on Game Pass. So that was a really, really, really cool announcement. And so I don't know if you saw, Keith, but did you actually look at Anacrusis?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so I originally didn't see it during E3. So I ended up going back and looking at it. And Anacrusis is also just very similar to Back 4 Blood, where it's, once again, 4-player co-op going from point A to point B. But it takes place in like a 70s style spaceship. So it's kind of like retro space sci-fi, and you're fighting aliens. So it's like colorful guns that are like really interesting shapes, really colorful. The aliens look to me kind of bland, but I don't know. It was another game that had, it's another survival shooter. And this one looked like it actually, because for me, for Back 4 Blood, I hope there's a reason to keep going with it. Like, I enjoyed Left 4 Dead, but there wasn't any progression. It's not like, oh, you're getting new perks, you're going for harder levels, you're going for new gear, anything like that. And so I hope they fix that in Back 4 Blood. I haven't been able to see anything of that. Like, is it still just, once again, just you're playing with your friends like in Left 4 Dead, or is there actually going to be progression? Anacrusis, I saw, does have a progression. As you're playing, you're getting perks, new abilities, and you're kind of going through different things, and you're getting new guns. So Anacrusis, it looked a little rough to me, but I'm actually really interested in it. But for my favorite game coming out this year for day one, we talked about it a little bit before, but I can't wait for Psychonauts 2. And it's right around the corner. And I've just been watching more trailers and gameplay of it, and it looks so good.
See, I didn't play Psychonauts 1 with you. I'm going to play a little bit of that before Psychonauts 2 if we play it. No spoilers. But when I was watching the trailer, it reminded me graphically of a kid's book, and I don't remember which one it was. Like if it was like Stinky Cheese Man or something.
Oh yeah, Stinky Cheese Man. Yeah.
Is that what it was? It kind of inspired.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, like Psychonauts 2. Like I'm already interested in like what they're doing with the story. Like
it seems really funny too, right? Is it a funny game? Silly?
Oh yeah, Double Fine's always kind of humorous. So yeah, I'm very excited like what they're doing. The color palette in the game is out of this world.
If you don't know anything about Psychonauts and you're curious, we happen to have an episode on that. You could just go back and listen to it. I'm not looking at you, Liz. But I am looking at you when I say that.
Another game I am so excited for that I know, I think it's on Xbox, but at least now I'm excited that's coming on Game Pass, but I cannot wait for Hades.
That was one of the games that I was like, I think Andrew and Keith will like that.
Oh, Keith, I know you're going to love it, Keith. Have you seen anything about Hades?
Hold on. I have to refresh myself on it. Because I know
it won all the awards, right?
Oh, it won so many awards. It won a lot of Game of the Year awards. But it's a like top-down action roguelike. And I've seen a lot of people stream it. It is gorgeous. It just looks like a super twitchy, like skill-based game. And I can't wait for it. Yeah,
Oh, good. So I'll probably actually hate it because it'll probably be too hard for me.
Oh, no. This is right up your alley. This is a game like even if I didn't tell you about it now, if you stumbled upon it, I know you'd be like, "No, we need to pick this. We need to play this."
This is my game. This is it. I just started playing it for no reason, and I can't stop.
I also noticed Age of Empires. So I grew up with Age of Empires. I had like the little CD that I would put in my computer and play it. And I haven't played it since. Install it. Yeah, and I am really excited to see if I still love it. Because I feel like I was pretty good at it back then. But I also, like, child's arrogance, maybe. I don't know.
So I try to have you play the Age of Empires games because they're on PC on the Game Pass, 1, 2, and 3 right now. And I love them. Like, those games hold up very well. I mean, they got a nice HD remaster to them and everything. The games are so much fun. I even like Age of Empires 3, which I know a lot of people don't like. It probably is my least favorite, but, like, there's things on 3 that I really enjoyed. But, yeah, back in my college days, staying up till, like, 4 in the morning, playing Age of Empires 2 with my roommates.
Just one more game. Just one more game.
I will say, though, I'm actually not super crazy about the art style with Age of Empires 4. It looks really kind of cartoony. I don't know. Like, the more I'm seeing of it, the more I'm liking it, but I'm not too crazy about the art style so far with it.
I feel like they're keeping it very similar to the original.
I don't know. The original, like the new one looks very bright. And the old ones I felt like were more neutral kind of color and kind of more realistic. It might be me. Like I said, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm kind of like, okay, this is like I think it's very unique. Like you can really see the different countries and nations that you're playing. So I'm still very excited for it. I love RTSs.
See, I did like the Age of Empires series. I never played a ton of them because I just didn't do a lot of PC gaming. And I don't know. I don't know how excited I am to try and play it on a controller. I don't think that's going to be the best experience with it, but who knows? Maybe they really put a lot of thought and detail into it.
It's not on controller, Keith. It's only PC.
Oh, well, never mind. I
Yeah.
thought it was on console.
Nope, it's just PC.
Oh, well, then I guess I definitely won't be playing it. It's funny, though, because I was just looking up some screenshots, and it kind of almost looks like an image from, like, a mobile ad. Like, download this war game.
It kind of does. Kind of hate that you said that.
And then, did you guys see that Among Us is coming down?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Liz, you were
Cool.
like
I was
obsessed with Among
it.
Us.
I hated being imposter though, and I got imposter all the time.
You really did.
Anybody who wants to be imposter never gets it, but if you like dread it, and also just the Among Us community was pretty awful. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I kind of stopped playing it because.
Well, they fixed it quite a bit. There's now a
so
lot more
immature.
filters and stuff.
Yeah,
A lot less
of-
racism.
Yeah, so many
Good.
racist like usernames and
Yeah.
just like, oh, let's everybody boot them because they disagree. It was very immature, so I stopped playing that I haven't played it since I originally started.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead, Keith.
I really only played that game that one night that it was, I don't know, a whole bunch of us.
Yeah.
That was actually funny.
And
oh yeah,
that
we kept
game,
killing
I mean,
you. You literally died.
yeah, it was a ton of fun.
first.
But I think I was the imposter once in like maybe 10 plus games we played, and I got killed almost first every time,
Yep.
whether it was the imposter murdering me or just booting me off.
That
So
was
it
delightful.
So like
You literally changed your name
it's a
to
game
"Please Don't
where-
Kill Me," and still everyone just kept killing you.
Exactly. And so for that matter, if we could get like a group of friends together, I would absolutely sit down and play this game, but I'm not really like excited about it. I could give or take it coming to Game Pass, I guess.
I think with friends, it's way more fun, and there's nothing like being the imposter and winning.
Yeah.
And I also I loved playing the imposter with another friend. So I don't know. I'm not like super pumped because, like I said, it was kind of negative last time I played it, but I would definitely be down.
So one thing I really wanted to ask you guys, what did you think of, Microsoft's big flagship game? Since neither of you guys have really played it, did Halo Infinite do anything for you guys?
No.
Really?
It looked beautiful. It was like graphically incredible, and Halo doesn't excite me. I will play it. I know it's a good game. I don't even have any dislike for it. I just honestly am not excited about Halo because I've just never like got into it.
I know, and you got to play it because we've had many requests to do Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
It's just very difficult.
Oh, for
'cause
sure.
It's a lot of games.
The voice acting
Yeah,
I
there's-
wrote was phenomenal, and that's pretty much.
So it did like nothing for you either?
I remember I liked the trailer, but I mean I think there was so many games I was excited about more.
There was one thing I did get excited about. Is when they killed Cortana, because Cortana was the bane of Xbox existence for the longest time, and I know that it's gone now.
Oh, you mean Cortana, the voice activating? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what are you talking about?
But don't they kill Cortana in the trailer? Didn't I see that? Or am I completely making that up? Like there was like a virus Cortana, wasn't there?
It's a whole story thing, but yes, there is like a new Cortana though. Like she's still in it.
Yeah.
So she's
Oh.
not dead.
Well, took it to me like she was dead, so I was okay with that.
Are you guys gonna make me play Shredders? Because that's something that you had me play that bicycle game and Forza. And I will say though, there was an old
like how you
phone
started
game
this.
that came with the phone, and it was snowboarding, and I thought it was kind of fun. I also liked like the Tony Hawk games way back in the day, though I really played the new ones. But I'm just like, I don't know if I'm really gonna enjoy it.
I like how you just go, are you guys going to make me play this? Come on. You don't know, like we have listeners out there that are going to request
But
it.
you know what? It might actually be a good game, but I just like think about that bike riding game that you guys made me play.
I'm not going to lie, Liz. I think the trailer did not do that game justice.
Yeah, because like I said, I remember playing games like that in the past, and I liked it. But I was watching the trailer, and I was just like, this looks like the game that I played like 15 years ago on my phone.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wasn't wowed by it, and I generally really bad at snowboarding games. I used to be alright, except back on like Tony Hawk 3 back in the day, but I never, almost like a baseball game. They got too complicated. Like, I don't actually know how to skate, so I'm just gonna go play Tony Hawk 3 where I can grind for 2 miles of a pipeline and it's okay.
The only like snowboarding game I truly loved was 1080 on Nintendo 64.
Oh man, that was a sweet.
I loved
game.
that game because I never got into the like SSX tricky games, any of those. Like I played a handful of them, and they were to me just fine. I didn't care for it to being like super cartoony. I mean, granted, I know 1080 wasn't super realistic either, but I don't know. It never like really resonated with me. So for me, Shredders, I think it's probably better than it looks. I thought that trailer was awful. For me,
same with
it was
Flight
boring.
Simulator, because you guys know that.
No,
I
I'm
think
excited for
flying,
Flight Simulator.
You know, and it's so funny because you hate to fly.
I know.
Like you're a nervous flyer, and you're like, oh, this is a video game about flying.
Oh my gosh! I tried to get on my PC. My PC wasn't good enough. So I was like, I can't play this game. I am so excited it's coming to consoles. I cannot wait to play Flight Simulator.
Yeah, that's actually. I'm sure there's going to be many other games that are going to start coming out, but as of right now, that's one of the few games I'm like, man, I really got to get on getting the Series X because I want to play Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to play one because they're PC driven, which I don't do. And then they're just always, highly graphics. So I have to have a super good computer, which I'm not spending money for, but I will spend money on the consoles. So yeah, I'm excited. It just looks gorgeous. Although it was funny when I'm watching the trailer, the Top Gun thing came on after it, and I was like, is someone really going to try and come out with a Top Gun game?
Yeah.
Like after you just watched Flight Simulator,
too.
and then they said it was a patch, and it was
just for the jet.
relieved.
Yeah, it's not like they're doing anything crazy. It's just for the jet.
Yeah. But the fact that, like I said, for like this brief minute, I thought they were just trying to do a standalone Top Gun game and try and put it alongside Flight Simulator, like there's any comparison.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too for a second. When I saw that, I was like, this is weird. I was like, okay, it's just a free jet. That's okay then. Oh, well, Keith, I don't know if you heard the good news. So since COVID happened, microchips are hard to come by. Xbox Series X's are still hard to come by. Did you hear what Microsoft's doing to kind of fix that?
Didn't you tell me they were doing something with the Insider program, where if you're a member there, like you're able to get on a hot list or something with them?
No, what they're doing is they're actually making so the xCloud is now a thing. You can now play on Android. You can play on any iOS browser, any like internet, Chrome, Firefox. You can also play on Android. So they're basically taking that streaming service and giving it to you on your Xbox as well. So they said they changed all the consoles where the servers are located with Series X's. So if you yourself do not have a Series X, you can actually play these Series X games and just stream it to your console. So even though you do not have a Series X game, you can still play Flight Simulator. I don't think it's out yet, the service, but it's supposed to be coming out this year.
That's pretty incredible.
It is.
Yeah, I recently just realized that they had the xCloud on full beta for like everyone, and I've been loving it. I haven't been trying to play any like real complicated games because I don't have a controller for it, my phone or anything like that. So I'm just doing the touchscreen.
Oh, I love doing the touchscreen.
But just sitting there doing like Slay the Spire, Monster Train, something like that type of game, it's awesome. And honestly, I liked how I actually tried playing Yooka-Laylee 2. Or not 2, but whatever
the
it is.
Impossible Lair or something like that. Yeah.
But what's kind of cool is they take the buttons and they actually, instead of having it say A above it, it has like a little punch icon, so you know that it's the punch button.
Yeah.
Like it was a very intuitive touchpad,
which
I don't know. So I agree. I think they did a phenomenal job with it. And honestly, I did. The only thing I had an issue with was like my phone started getting a little hot because it's probably processing a lot, and it's like a year and a half, 2 years old. So I don't know. It's on my phone, not on the xCloud. Overall, it's a 10 out of 10 experience. Like it occurred to me that you could, and I think this is kind of what you're saying, you could fully play at least everything that's on Game Pass, which is a huge collection of games, without actively buying a system. You just have an Android phone or an iOS phone, and boom, sign up for Xbox Game Pass, and you now have it on your phone.
Don't even on your phone. You can do it on your computer as well. You can stream it through a browser.
Or even that, and then soon to be they're going to have these sticks and all that. But it's just I don't know. I think it's so cool that they're just making gaming, and especially gaming at a high level, so accessible, and they're doing it flawlessly.
Yeah.
I think it's really impressive.
So I don't know if you guys saw it during E3, but have you guys checked out Scorn?
Oh,
I didn't look up anything beyond what I saw.
so I did. The only trailer that I saw, like, was just like this weird, like, scene of like the. I didn't give away anything, and so for me, I was just like, well, I already did enough homework for this game, and that was it.
So you already checked out.
What?
You're not interested in it at all? You're just done?
No, I was just not interested in looking at like a ton of trailers. I clicked on the first trailer and it just. I didn't know. Wait, I did. I think I looked. There was two. There was one that just showed like a long scene that didn't show anything, and then there was like a gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, it looked like you were in intestine or something.
Yes. Like, it is a weird game. It's meant to be like a horror survival first-person shooter kind of game. It's really weird. Everything's just super grotesque. Like, literally the walls look like intestines. Your gun is like a living creature. It is so weird.
See, I'm not into gore, and I feel
it's
like
not really like gore though. It's like like uncomfortable fleshiness. I don't know how to describe it.
I don't know.
That sounds so much worse than gore.
I
I don't know how to explain it, but just no.
It's not a scary game then.
It's meant to be
Because like the scariest
yes.
things are real, and I'm like looking at these like intestine corridors, and I was just kind of like, is it trying too hard? I mean, I shouldn't say that because if I played the game and I feel, wait, that's one thing. I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Yeah, see, I'm intrigued by it because one, I think it's incredibly gorgeous. It's unfortunately,
like intestines.
Yeah, it's a lot of intestines and stuff. So it's like, if you're uncomfortable with this stuff, you're not going to like it. But I think it's a beautiful looking game, and like for me, I'm just interested in how unique it is. I don't know. Like anytime I'm seeing gameplay of it, I'm like, I don't know if I'm really gonna have fun with this. But like even now, I'm like just having a hard time describing it because it's such a unique kind of game.
I'm intrigued enough that I would want to play it.
Okay.
But I'm not intrigued enough that I'm gonna sit through like multiple YouTube videos trying to figure out what it is. I saw enough that I'm like, okay, I'll play it.
Yeah, I honestly, it didn't stick out to me. I didn't note it or anything.
Lame.
I didn't really note anything, to be honest, but
typical Keith here.
It just didn't stick out to me when I was watching.
It's not like you had plenty of time between now and E3, to do some homework, right, Keith?
We were very rushed. This was actually recorded the day after E3, and no one knows that.
Okay.
Our toddler lost the footage again.
Exactly.
The audio, I should say.
So I kind of wanted to get some of your guys' opinion on not the games that are coming out this year, but what are coming in the future.
The really good ones.
Yes. Oh, there's
the number one right there, Outer World. It was poking fun at.
That's your number one
Starfield.
pick. I loved that trailer. That trailer, I actually was laughing because at first I'm like, because it's being very sarcastic. Like, oh, here's a world that you'll never go on, and here's now a scary creature. He won't be in the game anymore. Like, it was just so funny because that's literally how like so many trailers work. Like, there's like things in it, and it's just like, yeah, never mind, we got rid of it. It's not in the game anymore. Oh, here's multiplayer of like people walking slow, so it's serious. I just loved how tongue-in-cheek that game was. And they're like, we have no gameplay, but at least they have a name. It's just Outer Worlds 2.
It took me the longest time to figure out what game that was. I was just, it's like, what is happening?
Right at the beginning, I was like, this looks like Outer Worlds. I thought it looked like Outer Worlds.
Because I loved Outer Worlds. And so for me, like, it's a no-brainer that I'm excited about this one. But I will say that the coming day one and the future games, there was a couple ones that surprised me that I really want to play. But yeah, the Outer Worlds too. I didn't even know they were making another one. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Oh, for games coming in the future, this was one of my highlights during the show. I was so excited for a Plague Tale Requiem, the sequel to Plague Tale Redemption.
The music at the end, they did a good job with that trailer.
That trailer one was really good. And after playing Plague Tale, I loved the story of Plague Tale. And so, like, I remember during that episode, I was like, I want more. I really hope they come out. I want to explore more of this like world.
I remember for me, the gameplay was a little for me my gaming style.
But I loved the story.
But with the graphics and the story and everything, like, I mean, how could I not play the second one if it's picked?
So that, for me, this was probably my highlight. This was probably my favorite, most excited thing I saw during this conference was Plague Tale Requiem. I thought it was a cool trailer. It looked like it gave enough of the story where it's kind of like you're trying to figure out like your brother's kind of going crazy, but it's like, you know, you're the sister, and it's like it's hard to fight against your brother. I don't know. I'm very excited for
me, it was
Plague Tale.
the music. They like captured that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you remember, I didn't really care about Plague's Tale at all, like top to bottom.
Oh my gosh.
And so I saw this one and went, oh, cool. More Plague's Tale.
You disappoint me, Keith.
I guess I'll play that at some point.
So Keith, what were you excited about? What's your number one?
I'm trying to look at it. Honestly, maybe nothing really stood out to me. I thought Redfall looked kind of cool because maybe I'm wrong, but it took to me like it could end up being kind of a looter shooter, like a little like play with friends. So like that intrigued me a little bit. I thought that could be fun. If you had asked me, or if this lineup had come out, I don't know, however many months ago we had done Slime Rancher 1, I think I would have been excited for a Slime Rancher 2, but everything I saw about it, I just went, that's basically Slime Rancher 1 with some new slimes.
Maybe like one or two different slimes. Yeah. There was nothing new that it showed me. Nothing excited to be like, oh, look at this new feature. Or like, you're going to do this now.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed. I'm like, oh, so it's like Slime Rancher.
It kind of bummed me out.
It's just more Slime Rancher, which is fine. But yeah, like I'm at least glad. Like this game is obviously still pretty far away. Like I don't think once again they gave another release date for this one, so it's probably far away. This is just more of an announcement. But yeah, I thought the same thing where it's just like your gun looks the same. It didn't look like you were doing anything new. So more Slime Rancher.
I feel like it's really negative for them though, because for me now I have no interest. Like if someone's like, "Oh, Slime Rancher 2 came out," I'd be like, "Oh, I saw that trailer. I'm good."
So see, I'm excited because it's coming on Game Pass. So for me, I'm like, I really loved Slime Rancher. So more Slime Rancher. I'm on board.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I'll play it because yeah, by the time it comes out, I think there could be new aspects of it and new functions, things you do that could make it interesting. I'm not saying I'm sold out on it. It just kind of made me laugh. I was like, this just looks like you could have patched the old game and it would have been totally fine. But I'm definitely interested for it just because I don't want to say it held a special place in my heart, but I did pour a lot of hours into that game pre-Game Pass and I truly loved it when I played it. But yeah, I don't know. That was like one of my big standouts.
Keith's like, ugh, a Plague's Tale, but Slime Rancher was awesome.
And the first one was for a while, and then it kind of got boring. So I'm a little nervous that this one will. But
I'm surprised you picked Slime Rancher though. It's like you most anticipated. What about Starfield? Did that not excite you?
I don't do well with space games.
There's nothing in that trailer though. There wasn't anything. There was the gameplay, story. It was kind of like what Outer Worlds was making fun of. For me, I was just like I'm gonna forget that game with that name, everything.
Yeah,
so it makes it.
I agree with Liz.
I understand where you guys are coming from because this is from Bethesda. This is from the people who do Fallout and Skyrim, and so like obviously you guys don't play as much. So like obviously Liz, you don't know Fallout or Skyrim really, but like if you played those games and knew those games. And then Starfield, I think you would be a lot more excited. But yeah, someone who doesn't know this, I understand where you're coming from because it didn't show anything. But honestly, from what it showed, and from someone like me who knows what that studio's capable of, I'm really excited for Starfield.
Well, the music and everything, I knew it was supposed to be an epic game.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's all that I got from it.
And this is the game where Microsoft got a lot of flack for because PlayStation people were expecting this to come to PlayStation, but since Microsoft bought Bethesda, during this E3 is when they announced this is an Xbox exclusive. It is not coming to PlayStation. And yes,
ooh, that'll stick in some people's craw.
Oh yeah, people were very
and
upset.
To come on Game Pass, like we already stole MLB The Show, like. Seems rude to steal this away from them too.
But they've already explained that Starfield is essentially Skyrim in space or a Han Solo simulator. So
that's definitely where I'm at. And not even the Han Solo part, just the Fallout in space. I tried to like the Fallout games. I think I played at least 2, maybe even 3 of them, and I couldn't. I couldn't get excited about them anytime I played. It just always felt like I was like choring instead of playing. I don't know.
It'd be sad. Okay, what about Atomic Heart?
Okay, so that game I wrote what ? And then under music I wrote what ? Like I don't know. That trailer was so flippin' weird. I didn't know what to make of it.
Okay, I'm gonna admit, I think that probably was the worst trailer for Atomic Heart. But I am so excited for Atomic Heart. I've been following this game for a while because I remember it was announced years ago. I can't even remember. But people described it as, oh, it's BioShock, but in like a futuristic communist Russia. And so like you're kind of in an area, kind of a Chernobyl-esque area that's been cleared out, but there's a lot of remnants of, communist Russia propaganda and stuff going on. And it just, anything I've seen of it, the game looks so fun. It has a really cool stealth aspect to it, a lot of fun first-person shooter, slightly horror, like you're fighting these weird kind of like plant-based fungus creatures. It looks so good. I'm really excited.
It got my attention, I mean, to say the least.
I thought that trailer was weird. It like first started with this weird robot that looked really goofy. Yeah, I will say, I think that trailer was not good, but I'm very excited for Atomic Heart.
Yeah, no, that one did look really cool. I mean, I like crafting in just about any game as long as it's done well, I suppose. So that could be a matter of it. But looking at it, it does look like it's kind of like a bit of a survival game, which immediately means I will also struggle because I miss a lot of shots. And so if ammo is scarce, though, that means I have none of it probably. And so I don't say that concerns me, but that's where I'll probably just end up being garbage at the game. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, sticking with kind of a survival Russian theme, what'd you guys think of Stalker 2?
I am actually really excited about Stalker 2.
Really?
I think I'm going to be really bad at the gameplay. I think it's going to be a very difficult game. But that was one of the games that I was most interested in. I thought and I think mainly it's because I thought the characters were so interesting in the trailer. And then, of course, like the music and the graphics. And I thought that there was a lot. So at first I'm like, oh, it's like a shooting game. And then there's the Anomaly.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think there's going to be a lot to it.
So Stalker 2, I'm excited for, but I'm also a little hesitant. So I played the original Stalker. Back in the day, I had an awful PC. I mean, even now my PC is not great, but it struggled playing Stalker. And I remember playing it, and there were so many concepts of the Stalker that I loved, but that game had a very steep learning curve. And so Stalker 2, it's been years now. It's been, I don't know, 12 years, I think, since the first Stalker? Because I remember being like in high school playing it. And so I think it's probably a lot more easier now and a lot more friendly. It reminds me a lot of the Metro series, which, I mean, it's post-apocalyptic kind of Russia, so it's very kind of similar style. But no, I'm intrigued by Stalker 2.
See, it's funny. I never even played any of the Metro games, but I've just seen enough of them that was like my first thought. Is it kind of had that Metro feel? I guess one thing I didn't like, because Liz pointed it out, and I didn't really think much about. Do you kind of fight between these two different worlds a little bit of like, and maybe not worlds, but different biomes, I guess, of like the anomaly areas and then like non-anomaly areas? I guess.
So like the way the first one worked is like, yeah, you had cities, and you essentially were kind of like picking up contracts and kind of doing these jobs, and there actually was like a leaderboard of like other stalkers, and you're essentially trying to like climb the leaderboards. So you're kind of like a mercenary scavenger kind of going around doing things.
Okay, see, I could get on board with that type of stuff. I do like those types of, I don't know, just that type of like stats and things like that are always going to hook me in. And it's always easy to be like, oh, one more contract, one more mission, let me do this, let me do that, and just kind of go through them. So I could get it. I could get into that. But otherwise, I don't know, the trailer didn't do much for me. It was, like you said, it was kind of just like, okay, yep, post-nuclear Russia, there's some messed up things. I don't know. It didn't hook me from that aspect, I guess.
Man, you're apparently a hard person to please, Keith.
Is it kind of like the other Anomaly game that we played, where she's frozen and comes back, like that kind of Anomaly?
Outsiders?
Yes.
No.
I think that's what it is. I think that's the game.
No, this is like nuclear, I thought. Yeah, you're on the right game.
Was that the right one?
Yeah, they call it the Anomaly. Yeah, they call it the Anomaly. You're right.
No, slightly different.
I think the other end of the spectrum of what kind of game you can play, Party Animals looked like the best drinking game. I think a couple glasses of wine, put that on. Like, I think that'd be so much fun. Because it kind of reminded me of, what's the The one where we were pulling each other off.
Human Fall Flat.
Yeah, it kind of had that, but like hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, there's a game that actually is out that's very similar to that right now called Gang Beast. I was playing a little bit of it. It's just Gang Beast is a little clunky, but yeah.
And Gang Beast is just like a fighting version of Human Fall Flat, basically, right? And then I took Party Animals to be like one step further. It was like Human Fall Flat, Gang Beast meets Super Smash Brothers.
I think Party Animals is also a bit more like party games too.
Oh, that would make sense in the name. Yeah, I mean, it looked cheeky and fun, but yeah, I think it definitely seemed like a game you got to sit down and play with some friends. And I think especially if you do couch co-op, if there's anything beyond couch co-op, they might not have it. But yeah, that seems best played that way, even more so than on like a headset.
But yeah, I had a listener actually mention Party Animals to me before. Like it's been on Steam for a while in like early access kind of thing. And so I've been following it for a while, and it does look like a lot of fun. So I'm, once again, so excited it's coming to Game Pass. I don't know. What did you guys think of Somerville?
See, I remember I was actually trying to look this up because I was like, wait, I kind of thought that looked interesting from what I remember. But then I remembered nothing about it. So I was trying to remember what I liked about it.
I wrote that.
I'm just being honest.
I liked the art style, but it looked like the story got sad at one point, and I don't like feeling sad.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it's going to get really
so
sad.
For me, I think that's why I don't really remember it that well, because I didn't want to, because I was like, I don't want to play a sad game. It's the same with, like, if I watch a movie or something, like, give me that cookie cutter ending. I don't want to feel things. So
Somerville I got very excited for because it's from some of the people from the studio Playdead who, it's from the studio that brought you Limbo and Inside. And the games they make are crazy. So I know there was like kind of some bad blood that went on in the studio. Some people end up leaving. And so I remember back when that happened, they like gave a couple of screenshots like, hey, this is a game we're making. And so right off the bat, there's like these giant pillars in the beginning of the trailer. And I was like, is this the game? Like, I've been waiting for this game. Like, because the stories like they write are just insane. They don't tell you like kind of any of the story. Like if you played Inside, like there's no actual story of them telling you what's going on. It's just you piecing it together, and it gets weird. And so with Somerville, yeah, it looks. I already got like I'm already like, oh, this is gonna be sad because it starts off with like, you know, husband, wife, kid, dog, and as the trailer's going on, you're kind of only seeing like 2 family members, 1 family member, and I'm like, oh no. Where's the dog? Where's the kid?
Don't you take the dog.
Oh, if there's a dog, you know it's dead. That's how games go. It's sad. You know, stop killing dogs, people. Come on. So I'm really excited for Somerville.
This is a horror game. I don't know. Preview of the new horror game from the author of Inside.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that, thinking back, I wish the Contraband had more information on it, because I was kind of intrigued by that.
Yeah, I thought that was really short too.
Isn't it like a co-op open world? But I felt like they didn't give enough. I think I'm going to be interested in that. But wait, there was no information on like a new Alan Wake game, right?
No, not yet.
No.
That probably will
So
be a
impatient.
while, unfortunately.
Ridiculous. Were you guys excited with the Sea of Thieves update?
Not really. If I'm completely honest, I don't know. I thought Pirates of the Caribbean was really cool the first time I saw it, and then I just kind of stopped caring about it. But it just doesn't seem to go away. It's like Avatar, but it keeps making more movies instead of just talking about making more movies, and it just spreads into everything. My immediate thought with Jack Sparrow is I thought he looked kind of goofy.
Yeah. Because
he looked a little too realistic, but still also very much like a Sea of Thieves character. It was weird, and I didn't care for that. I don't hate it. I know I'm sounding really negative on it. I just wasn't excited about it. I think there's so many other properties that they could pull in that could be way more interesting. Like I think a Peter Pan aspect would be, or at least Captain Hook. You have an actual, well, I guess Jack Sparrow's a pirate and all that, but you have like a pirate. They could introduce alligators and, you know, the giant alligator that took Hook's hand. There's just a lot of other properties they could use, and maybe this is their gateway into it, especially if it's with Disney, because Disney also has Captain Hook, and they also have like the Muppets, Treasure Island. Like they could do other fun stuff. I just don't know how goofy they want to get with it.
See, with me, I'm really torn as well. Like what you're coming from, Keith.
I also haven't played it, so that's another thing to
My
say.
biggest negative is the fact that it's it's a Disney property. And so it's like, is Sea of Thieves going to end up good? Like, I hope this is just a one-time thing. We just kind of had fun with it. I don't want Sea of Thieves to become like a Disney kind of property game kind of thing like that. Like, I love Sea of Thieves just being its own thing. And this also what kind of makes me sad is like, Rare is known so well for creating some really cool, interesting characters and, you know, fun environments and stuff like that. And so for me, it feels kind of just half-assed to be like, Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, so many people always make a reference of it playing the game. You know, Keith, how many times did we hear people blasting Pirates of the Caribbean music when we were playing Sea of Thieves? Like, all the time. So, like, it was always just kind of fun.
I mean,
making the joke of it.
My Reddit handle is Johnny Depths. So I made it when Sea of Thieves came out so I could follow Sea of Thieves stuff. Like, I am a joke of that manner.
Well, that's what we named our boat. We always named our boat Johnny Depps or Tom Planks.
I forgot about Tom Planks. That was a good one.
Yeah. So overall, like the update, like I wasn't super excited about it. For me, it is just more Tall Tales, which that I am excited for. And from what I've played so far, they're fun. It's just it's what Disney's known for. It's just a lot of lights, colors, presentation kind of things. I don't find it super wildly fun, but it's interesting. And I guess I heard this from my friend too. Like, I guess they actually legitimately took audio from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and used it in some of the Tall Tales. But like the very first one, it always kind of made me laugh.
It's like, that's neat.
Yeah, but like the very first one's like dead men tell no tales. And you're walking around this cave and it's constantly going, dead men tell no tales. It got very tiring. I was like, okay, I get it. And then literally when you get out of the cave, they go, dead men have plenty more tales to tell. And I was like, you just spent 20 minutes telling me that they don't tell tales. Then I get out of this cave and you're like, no, they have plenty of tales to tell. It's like, what the heck? The first one.
Don't you lie to me.
That one just kind of annoyed me. I'm like, it's cave life to me. You just now tell me something different. But no, I'm always excited for Sea of Thieves content. So that for me, I'm just excited for it.
So having not played it at all, I don't know if you.
So you're an expert.
I guess
at
there's
it.
yeah, exactly. But from what I've understood, there's new enemies.
Yes.
And
new enemies,
it sounds like
new
they're
weapons.
a nightmare. Oh, new weapons! I didn't realize that.
There's a trident you can charge up and shoot.
Oh, girl!
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, I don't know. It does sound like the new enemies seem to be a bit over the top. Because I know even like the last time I was playing it, there's just way too many exploding skeletons. That's just a whole side.
Yeah, there's like a big old crab guy that slams the ground and instantly kills you. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Anywho, I am excited to play it as a whole. I kind of never got into the Tall Tales. I like just the basic gameplay, to be honest, like the OG, if you will. So I never got into the Tall Tales. So that's another reason I don't know that I'm overly excited about this. I don't like spending a lot of time in the game and then not getting treasure for it.
Well, they have checkpoints now, so even if you don't finish the Tall Tale, you can still continue where you were.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice then.
Wow, Keith, you've been out of Sea of Thieves way too long.
I know.
I think the biggest problem with E3 is that, like, as I was watching it, every game looked good, even a game that I knew that I wouldn't like. So, for instance, Far Cry 6, it had an amazing actor in it.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. I mean,
better job than I would have said it.
Yeah, he's a great actor, great voice actor. Grounded looked good. There's a Yakuza game that just came onto Game Pass.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
So for me, like in Yakuza, the shenanigans in that trailer, the lobster and all that, like I just felt like everything looked good to me, and so that was probably my biggest complaint of E3. It's like, you're making me want to play too many games, even though I know, like in Far Cry 6, I don't like the gameplay. So
yeah, I wasn't sold on Far Cry, and mostly because I know the Far Cry games. I've played, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them, and I'm always like, this wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. But honorable mention, and I know it's not coming to Game Pass, but I am so stupid excited about Diablo II, the remaster. Like, I will pay all of the money for that game.
I am, and I'm also not. Like, it looks great, but both me and you, we played way too much Diablo 2. So for me, I feel like I'm going to play it a little bit and go, yeah, I already put like 200 hours in this game. I think I don't know if I want to keep going.
Well, I think my bigger issue with it is that I don't have 200 hours to just dump into a game like I used to. And so I get where you're coming from. But I don't know. I think the nostalgia of it. I think I'll be interested to play it on a controller for the first time.
Which I heard
think
it's really good on a controller.
I can see that it would be. I mean, unlike a game like World of Warcraft, Diablo 2 had a set limited number of buttons you could push. So realistically, like it just always made sense to play on a controller, I felt like. So I'm excited for that. I mean, it plays well on Diablo 3 on a controller, so I wouldn't expect anything less of Diablo 2. And Diablo 4 is coming out at some point, right?
At some point. Yeah, they said don't expect it for a while, though.
So we'll see it in E3 23.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But anyway, that's one thing about it I thought was cool.
Like, you seem so negative about all these. Like, a lot of them you're like, didn't do it for me. Do it for me.
I think part of my issue is almost like Liz, is I kind of just got to a point where the games largely didn't tell me enough about them. They all look pretty incredible. And so I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel excited about all of this, but there's a lot of these I know I'm not going to play, or some that I know I'm not going to want to play. And then there's games like Hello Neighbor that didn't look good, and I do not care to play.
I wish it was a Secret Neighbor 2 instead of Hello
You're still
Neighbor.
waiting for that Secret Neighbor 2.
Or maybe some Graveyard Keeper 2.
Oh my gosh. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Liz just got so excited.
All right, but I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've already been dragging on way too long. So overall, both me and Liz are excited for games. Keith, on the other hand, is not.
I'm super excited for Forza, and I don't care what you say. I'm probably going to end up buying the cheat pack.
Hey, I'm excited for Forza.
Game.
I just wanted to be more wowed.
I think it's like the one game that I'm really just like, please don't make me play it. Please don't make me play it. And you guys were like, Forza. It's definitely going to be a key pick.
Oh yeah, no, I'm already gonna buy the pack that I get to play it like 2 days early. Comes with all the cars, all the expansions, all that good stuff.
Yep. All right, but I think
wait.
that's gonna do it for us this week. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have any game suggestions for us, we would also love to hear. What did you guys think of E3? What are some games you cannot wait for? Please write us an email at gamepassgrabbag@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Facebook, Game Pass Grab Bag. We're also on Twitter at GPGBpod. I have been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me at Xbox Live, Firebird0952.
I've been Keith, and I guess I didn't like games this week. I'll talk to you next week.
I like that you gave it a games, too, at the beginning.
I mean, I was, and then, I don't know, maybe I just lost steam talking about how every game looked good.
And I'm Liz the Noob, gamertag, come on, I'm Dean, and I'm on Twitter at Liz the Noob, Noob is EW.
All right, everyone. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again next week.